Good.
There we go.
You have
Welcome, ladies. So super excited to have you all on IG Live with me today. So excited. So thank you for accepting my invitation to come on here today.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for you too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, what you all are doing is just really so different and just, yeah, it just stands out. I remember when I went to Gisele's page and saw what she was doing, that was about a month or two, I bought the book immediately because I'm like, wow, somebody does stuff like that, anything with food, eating healthy, and it's great. Both of you, that cookbook is awesome. Awesome. So anybody watching live now or watching the replays, I highly suggest you get that cookbook. So I'm going to be using a lot of that recipes. I've earmarked the ones that I want to get. So during the Thanksgiving period and winter break, then I'm going to explore and I'll give you some feedback.
Take your time. Take your time. There are a lot of recipes in there that you can enjoy.
Oh,
and
yes.
the best part of it is gluten-free, refined sugar-free, and dairy-free as well.
Amazing, because my kids have allergies as well, and so that's why I was excited when I saw you know, the recipes and the content. I went through all of that, so yeah.
So thank you so much for having us today here. We really appreciate it.
Oh yes. So if you don't mind, so that you can introduce yourself to the audience, let them know what you do, who you are, and stuff like that.
Yeah, Solange, you want to start while I try to adjust my lighting?
Yeah, you can start, Gisele. I will just follow you after.
So I'm Gisele ADECHIAN. I'm a raw food chef. I'm also the author of a plant-based book that you probably downloaded or bought. And I'm also the co-founder of Ilera Wellness, which is basically an organization that promotes wellness through a holistic approach. So I'm happy to be here today to be able to discuss the role of nutrition with kids, especially kids with special needs.
Thank you so much. Dr. Solange?
So I am Solange ADECHIAN. So I'm doctor in nutrition. I am naturopath, biologist, and also author of scientific reviews. I work on protein and inflammatory diseases, the impact of the muscle mass when I beginning. And I have worked a lot of inflammatory condition as obesity in children and also in adults, and the impact of nutrition on our health. So I have completed my learning with the naturopathy in the holistic approach, because I believe that this brings a lot of complementary, so it's helped us also to better understand and prevent our health.
Wow, that's just awesome. So before I even get into the question, just based on what both of you shared, how did you all happen on this path? And I know you all are sisters, so it's amazing. I'm like, when I saw both of you, I immediately thought about my sisters. I'm very close to my sisters. I have two sisters. So I just love that you all work together, and I do the same with my sister. It's awesome. So how did both of you, is this something that you all discussed, or is just something that your life journey has just brought you all to this particular point?
It's great that you're asking this question, because a lot of people actually do not ask that. They understand what we're doing, but they don't know how we came together. Solange and I actually decided to launch Ilera Wellness in the middle of the pandemic in 2019, when we were actually both discussing the health issues that we had on the gun. We went through health issues separately, so separate countries, separate health issues, separate situation, and separate year as well. But we have both individually walked our own health journey. So in 2019, in the middle of the pandemic, where the whole world was discussing how to get back on track, how to avoid the virus, how to eat healthy, and those kind of things, we decided that that was it. That was the year where we were going to go live with our own company, the dream that we had ever had. For once, we were now able to do it, and we decided that we were going to go ahead and launch Ilera Wellness, which is basically the result of our own story, right? So we wanted to take our own experiences to the world. We healed ourselves naturally using food as medicine. So we wanted also to share this experience with others to allow them to be able to regain their own health and wellness.
Wow, beautiful.
Yes, exactly. And as Gisele just said, because we live in a lot of countries, we live in China, we speak Chinese Mandarin, and we live in France, we live in Africa, and in Europe also. But we don't find these kind of natural diseases that occur in this time, and it's only when we move to America that we have developed some inflammatory diseases. And that's what the patient that we say that no, we should act, we should help people, as Gisele just mentioned.
Right.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You started it just at the right time, because everything now, for what I've seen with your work, like you said, is holistic. The mindset, it's just a lot of new, which I'll touch on. So let me not give it all up, but just a lot of things from your reels, from your from some of your lives that you have done. It's just a lot of information. And that's why I said what you all are doing is groundbreaking. It's just so different from what I've seen out there. So I'm really just pleased that you all are on here. So thank you for sharing that. I was just really curious because, like I said, you all remind me of my sister. So I wanted to find out how you all happened on this journey. So today we're talking about, neurodivergent kids. I have already shared, I've been open about my own journey, having have 4 boys, but 2 of them are sensory sensitive. And a part of this, why I really wanted to talk to you all about this is the part of the journey I've not actually tackled food. I have been so hesitant about that. So I need to do my self-talk on that, which I need to practice for myself on that area. I will have been so hesitant because of time, just fearful because of, we've been going stage by stage trying to get them off, different allergies that they might have. And I'm just like, well, I don't know if I'll do this and that'll get them off track, or introduce something that will do, harm them in some way or form. So that's why I really wanted to talk to you about that. So I know I've spoken to Gisele a bit about this, and I wanted to ask if you could share your own story and experience using food. I know you have talked about your child having, being in a neurodivergent kid, and then so what was the process like for you?
Okay, so personally, I think parents play a key role in ensuring that kids are healthy, right?
Yes.
So we as parents, we have to make sure that the decisions that we make are in alignment with the well-being of our kids. And sometimes we do not realize that children do not make decisions. We make decisions for them, right? We make decisions for our kids. So whenever, for example, we go grocery shopping, we tend to shop with our eyes and not with our brains. And this is something that I've been fighting for, right? So I have been fighting to allow parents to go grocery shopping with their own brains. Read the labels. Don't get excited about the colors of the packaging, because that might be misleading. This is something that I learned myself throughout the healing journey as well, and that I learned for my kids, because that was not part of my habits to read the labels in the beginning. So this is something that I believe parents, especially mothers, because they spend a lot of time with kids, have to learn as well. The other thing is we set the stage for role modeling as parents. Yes. So they watch us, they watch what we do and what we eat. You cannot ask a child, for example, to drink a vegetable juice while we're drinking Coke. That's so we really have to make sure that our objective is in alignment with what we want for the child. Yeah. That's something that I also learned along the way. And the other thing is that as first-time moms, it's sometimes difficult for us to understand what our child needs. I personally thought that when I gave birth to my child, I would just hand it off the child like that. Okay, so that's it. That's your child. Go home and be happy. But there's nobody who actually taught me to take care of my child. There's nobody who taught me that I needed to be aware of nutritional issues, allergies, and those kind of things down the road. I wasn't told that at a hospital. I learned that along the way. And nobody also told me that we needed to ensure that you avoid developmental issues in kids, which we usually experience between the age of 2 and 3. And after that, if you don't react quickly, then that's it. You have to keep that developmental issue with the child for forever. So those are small signs that we need to watch out for that we are not being taught as first-time moms, or even as new moms, right? Even if you have 2 or 3 kids, and you don't need to know it all. You have to learn it. People have to teach you. So as a matter of fact, I had a lot of things that I needed to learn along the way to be able to make sure that my child is healthy as well and fine. And those experiences are the ones that I want to bring on the table via ADECHIAN Wellness to educate other mothers as well, how to watch out for special signs when the kid is growing up, in order to detect whether your kid is experiencing nutritional issues and developmental issues, or if this is just part of emotional development, right? So those are the things that I learned by myself on my own.
Oh, wow. So I like what you said when you say we go shopping with our eyes. That's true. And even with the kids, you go shopping with your eyes and not with your brain. And I've also learned not to go shopping when you're hungry.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Yeah, so which is very true to start, and that's something I've like I said, that's why I wanted to talk to you. That's something I've not really done. For certain things, I read the label. You know, I do try to do more of organic, you know, produce or you know some snacks, but still I know there's still a lot more. You know, like they say, there's organic and there's organic. So I think you know I still need to learn how to read those labels pretty well, just as what you were saying. And then you said it just right. Being a first-time mom, I can relate to that. And even being a mom for so many years, there are so many things that you're not prepared for. Nutrition, like I said, you don't know. It's like you're trying to learn everything out the door. And then if you now tack on a kid that has special needs, that's even a whole another dimension added to it. So I definitely
exactly. And this point also is important because as nutritionists, you know, there is nutrition in nutrition. And that's a big problem and the huge problem because a lot of people, when their kid have a problem or a disease, they just go to see a nutritionist. But what we have to be careful about that is what we learn at school is not the same as we can, the experience that we can live and we see, because the nutrition should be holistic. And I'm very passionate about that because usually people, they just think that, okay, you eat pasta is good, there's carbohydrate inside, so that's going to give you a lot of energies.
Right.
But they don't see how the way the pasta is going to react in your gut. And this is very important because we don't eat food to eat food. We have to eat food cleverly to know what is the impact of the food in our gut or in our body systems. So that's why each one of us are different, and we have to see some sign alarms for the children when they eat each kind of food and see how it reacts on their body.
Wow. So everything is in. So can you expand more when you say everything depends on their gut for the kids? So can you explain more?
Yeah, sure. I can give some details because it's a too long topic, but for sure, because usually when a kid's gonna eat, we take the example of gluten in the wheat. When a kid gonna eat wheat gluten, he gonna scratch himself. They say, okay, the mommy will not pay attention of that, and they say, okay, everybody, are you okay? The other kids are okay. Okay, if they don't have any problem, or if he doesn't manifest any kind of allergies, it's okay. But this is a sign alarm. That means that this child has a problem in his gut, or he has a gut an absorption of the food. So, and it's important to take account into the gut. Has he been to the toilet? Has he eliminate correctly? Does the food has an impact on him? Does he has some sign information, some sign alerts that we can notice that this food can react or not on his body? And this is very important because usually and today's people eat to eat, you know, and that is very bad for us because we have to know the way we are eating, and also it is important to know that each one of us has not have the same gut. We don't have the same way of absorption. There's the genetic that is impacted. There's also the environment where we are living that is impacted. There's a lectin included in the food that also can have impact. So we have to take account of that, and how to know if the kid can eat this or not. You just have to observe him, and to know also that you can introduce the food one by one and notice if they are going to be good or not for him. So that is a point, an important point to know, and also have to know about the elimination, how the kid eliminates his food, how he's transforming his food. Right. And even the food, we are what we eat, as we say. Even the kid can eat it the day after, and it can react the day before, or he can eat it the day before, it can react the day after. So there's a lot of signs that we can know, or we can learn how to know them.
Thank you for that, because I asked that piqued my interest, because my little one always complains about you know, belly ache. So he's always back and forth trying to, giving him this medicine, trying to figure out what it is, that because he's always saying my belly hurts. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that, like you said, to observe what he's eating at that point in time that causes that belly ache at that point in time, because it's off and on. Today he's okay, and then the next couple of days, oh, I have the belly ache. So
I think that is very important to pay attention about that, because, you know, usually this is a sign alert, and if you don't pay attention of that, that's going to be another disease that is preparing in the future. So it's very important to note. Usually for my kid, I have a kid that have eczema. He has severe allergies to gluten at the beginning, but now it's getting better and better. I note everything. I write down everything, each hours, each moment, what he eats. It's easier to follow if you're also cooking by yourself, because eating outside doesn't help. So it's very important to cook everything, as we mentioned it at Ilera Wellness, and also the raw recipe done by Gisele. So that means that we can find our own wellness in food. Even if we cannot eat any food outside, we can have an equivalence by the homemaking, you know. Yeah. Just pay attention of that, and just notice also what he's eating. And usually what we do, we remove, is not all the time, but usually we remove the milk, the cold milk. We remove also the gluten at the beginning, just to make sure that, because these are the common allergies that people have. So at the beginning, we remove it from the diet of the child, and then we introduce the veggies for sure, we introduce other food, and step by step, we're gonna see what food he's tolerant, is acceptable for his body, and what are not.
That's fantastic. I'll talk to you all after the live.
No problem. You can just book our wellness package. You're gonna have a lot of information.
Oh, yes, that's great. Okay. So
and it's very important, because that's bring the kid, you know, what is very good for the children is, because when we treat the urges, as soon as we can treat them, you're gonna see at adulthood they will not have any more allergies, because children, they react easily. That's why we specialize also. I'm very specialized in children, because they react quickly, and we can switch off and also turn to the good way with them.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so why is the type of food important for, so we're talking about neurodivergent, so why is the type of food we eat important for them? So yeah, go ahead, please, both of you.
Okay, I can go first. So the type of food that is good for kids, I don't know that we can call it type of food that are good, because each immune system is different, each person is different. But what I can say is that there are general guidelines, right? And the guidelines are basically avoid wheat-related products, avoid dairy-related products, include a lot of vegetables, right? Vegetable juices, for example. Avoid highly processed food. foods that are packaged already, that we see in the grocery stores, are foods that basically have a high sugar intake. And when I say sugar intake, it's basically processed sugar. It's not a healthy sugar. So those are the general guidelines that we can provide in determining which foods are good for kids in general, but especially with kids with special needs. And if there's another thing or another suggestion that I may have for people that are dealing with kids having special needs, is basically choosing healthy fats. Things such as coconut oil. Coconut oil is very good for kids with neurodivergent issues. Well, because it's going to help their brain development. So it's really crucial that you do not cook that oil. When I say coconut oil, is raw coconut oil, which you can use in, for example, raw cakes, or you can also use in smoothies, or those kind of things. So you have a lot of recipes that are available also in our guideline. So the recipes that we developed in the guide to raw, healthy, and living food recipes available in our bio. So you will be able to include some of those coconut oil-based recipes, so healthy fats for the kids, which is going to help them with their brain development.
Oh wow, wow. So is it just that? Yes. So is it just that dairy and sorry, I cut you off, Solange. Is it just?
No, let's go.
Okay. Is it just that dairy? You mentioned dairy, wheat. Are they just not good because some of those kids might not be allergic to those particular products, or is it just saying that those particular products don't help them in any way?
I would say they should be part of your do not take list. Why? Because they affect one way or the other your gut. Even though the kids do not react to them, they affect the gut lining system. So there are people who tell us that, oh, I don't have any reaction to wheat, so I can take any product that is wheat-based because it doesn't do anything to me. It might not do something to you today, but down the line, several years later, when you start dealing with health issues, and then people start investigating the origin or the root causes of that, then you go back to your intestinal health, you go back to your gut health. So it's better you remove those products at an early stage in your life so that you don't have to deal with them in a few years from now.
Wow. Exactly, even if you are healthy. And there's something important that I want to add based on what Gisele just said. The wheat and the dairies, the people will say that, okay, I used to eat it, my grandpa used to eat it, I have nothing, so nothing's happened. Yeah, it depends on the body of each one of us. But usually when your body doesn't react now, it's going to react in 15 years later. So that's that you have to pay. Everything is paid in the food. But what is very important, I just want to mention that dairies and wheats, they are good for the health if they are not transformed. And that's why our ancestors used to eat it and have no problems. But the wheat that we see today is not the natural wheat. It has been genetically modified. There is a lot of modification that has been done. That's why the wheat of today is not the wheat of in the past. And that's the same thing for the dairies. The dairies are good for the health if you consider them separately. But the problem is that today we don't have any dairies from cows naturally because they give a lot of antibiotic to the cows. They give them a lot of food just to have a lot of production for industry. So in order to have a lot of capacity, and that is the basic and the major problem. The food in itself is good. If you go to the farm and you have your own corn, you give him grass instead of meat,
right,
you're going to have a good meat. But today we can't find it in our society. That's why we are saying that wheat and milk are not good, or dairy's food are not good. They are good if they was not transformed. And that is the problem that we are facing on today. So it's better for you, even if you're in healthy condition, to avoid them because we don't know exactly how it's worked and how the transformation, industry transformation has been done on them. Wow. That's a big issue, and it's important to know that it's not the food in itself, but it's the way we transform the food in our society that is the base and the major problems. And why your kids have allergies and some kids not is because also of what the mother had eaten. during the pregnancy, and we don't know, because I am the first. I am nutritionist. I know what to eat, but even though I have a kid that have allergies, why? Because in the past I did not consider the holistic approach of the nutrition. I just take dairies because I know that dairies are good for the health. But no, it's completely false. It's because the dairies that we have today in our society, they are transformed, and this has impact in our gut. And during the children constitution in our body, or when we are pregnant, that's have an impact on the child, and that's why we have some child that has some allergies, and some children know, because the way it's transformed in their body. And unfortunately, some of them have I don't know, I can say a weak human system. That's why they have it. But this is good, because these children, they react at the beginning. So usually when you see, and as parents, when I see from my clients also, in the future, those children are the one that is very healthy, in the healthy condition, because they take care of the body and the healthy at the young stage. And this is important. Usually people say, I eat it, I don't have nothing, I'm good. But no, just be careful, because usually we say, I'm gonna see you in 50 years and we're gonna see how you will feel. So it's important to know that.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's just stretching.
Yeah, mind blowing. We believe at a.t.elle Awareness that if you want to get pregnant, you need to start working on yourself, maybe 6 months to 1 year before you deliver, because whatever you eat is going to affect your child. So there are certain things you should be avoiding as a pregnant woman, and nutrients that you should also be taking so that you have a healthy child. Today we tend to eat anything, because as long as we have magnesium, we have whatever, all the sugar intake that we need, they will be fine. But no, care needs to be taken in terms of the type of food that the mother that is pregnant is eating, because she's going to pass on the immune system to the child, and the ability to react to some foods in the future.
Yeah.
Exactly. And today also, you know, we have a lot of at school. I'm a mother of kids also that are going to school, and usually a lot of children has this is the famous things that we have at school is the ADHD.
Yes.
That means attention deficit hyperactivities disorders. And usually what we do, we just give medicine to these children, that's all, and I can be safe. But what we don't notice is the way the foods have an impact on these children. And I work with these children. We only remove the sugar, the artificial sugar from their food, and replace it by that, or also how to say that, also the natural fruit sugars or fruits.
Yes.
And you can see the major impact that this have on these children, and they think that they take some medicine compared with those that take medicine. So the way also the food that children is eating is very important. And I like also this Harvard study. There's a Harvard Health Publishing, the crucial brain food all children need. So this is an article, scientific article. I really like it because they explain in that each food and the impact that they have in our brain system. And this is very interesting. I recommend you and encourage you to read it.
What's the name of the article?
The article is the title is The Crucial Brain Foods All Children Need. It's from Claire McCarthy. She's from Harvard University. I can send you the link.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, The Crucial Brain Food All Children Need.
The Crucial Brain Food.
From Claire McCarthy is a Harvard studies that have been done in 2018.
Okay. It's just, and a lot of what you guys said, it just bears the question when you said with the way wheat and milk and everything is just so transformed, because it just seems like in the last 10 years or so, the incidence of allergies, you know, children with is just on the rise. I mean, exactly. It's exactly. And this is important also to know why this wheat, what does it create, and these children have some allergies. You know, the dairies, they have a lot of, we call it the mucus. Maybe Gisele can help me about the name.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this brings a lot of mucus in the body. And also the wheat, for some people, it brings acidity. And people cannot be sick if they are not more acid or if they don't have mucus. That's the two major things that we have in our body before being sick. And when you are asking the type of food that are best for the health, I can say the veggies, the green veggies, we have beets, we have carrots, all the colorful fruits and veggies, because the veggies have an impact on our body since they lower the acidity in the body. And each raw food that from veggies and fruits that bring, that we can eat in our meals, that's gonna lower the level of acidity in our body. And by lowering the level of acidity, people are getting better and better. And that's why the book that we developed by the raw food, that means a lot of all the food are raw, so that means that they will have a major impact. The raw they will are, the better they will lower your acidity in your body. And this is very important. That's why we help people healing from eczema. We help people to feel better from the sickness, because if they don't have acidity and mucus again, they cannot be sick.
And that is true. And it's important that we consume the fruits and vegetables that are in season, right? Because especially people who live in the northern part of the globe, just like us, we have fruits and vegetables all year
round. Yeah, that's not
possible to have that. So it's important that when you're going grocery shopping, when you're selecting your vegetables and your fruits, you select the ones that are in season. Otherwise, you will have a higher chance of bringing a high level of acidity level in your body, which is going to turn into major diseases in the future.
Yes, sure. And that's true, dude, because there are some fruits when you buy, you can even taste it. You're like, man, this doesn't even taste natural. It tastes, you can even taste the acid.
Right. Exactly. And when you live in Canada, as me also, I cannot eat peach in winter time, because if I eat peach, usually, as Dr. Gendry also say in his book, they put like a gas, it's nitrogen oxide, that's gonna bring a lot of, is a gas to help the food to have the similar effect that it is mature, that the food is really to be eaten. And that is not good, because when you see, especially at the groceries, you go and you see that this food is from a very far countries, and we are not supposed to have it at this season. As Jesus says, better to avoid it, because that's going to be a lot of acidity and also a toxic gas that they put on the food. Exactly, to have them the appearance of it is good.
Oh, so wow, I've taken down those just so much great information, even for me too, even for me. And there's something I saw on your website that I liked. You had talked about primary and secondary foods, and so my question was, does having a balance between primary and secondary food apply to these kids? And then, but first of all, what do you mean by primary and secondary foods? Because I never knew about that myself. Hello, welcome for joining us in Esther.
Yeah, welcome everyone. So it is important that you balance out your primary and your secondary foods. So at a-t-elle Wellness, we believe a lot in balance, and the balance to achieve your wellness. So what I mean by primary food basically is anything such as your relationship, your career, your spirituality. So those are the things that are going to have a higher effect on your secondary foods, which are basically things that you eat every day. So unless you get those in balance, your primary foods, no matter the vegetables or the fruit that you eat, it's not going to take you anywhere. It's just like you drinking Coke every single day, and once in a while you decide to drink a carrot juice. Is it going to make a difference in your body? It's not. So that's the reason why we talk a lot about primary foods, which are things that we deal with a lot, your career, your relationship, your spirituality. We need to have them in check in order to even hope to have what we're eating every day have a positive effect on our body. So yes, kids in general, and specifically kids with neurodivergent issues, they do have to have their primary foods balance as well. Why? Because they are simply human beings as adults, right? They do have emotions. They do have feelings. They go to school. They don't have a career, but they go to school. They also have relationships with their parents. So they are human beings. So as part of a natural human being, they need to have their primary food in check as well, so that whatever they are eating as vegetables, fruits, can also have a positive effect in their life. That's the reason why when we treat kids with, for example, autism or asthma and those kind of things, we do not only treat their nutrition. Normally, we should not treat only their nutrition, but we should also be treating the relationship that they have with their environment, relationship that they have with their parents, their school, with anybody that interacts with them, to make sure that all those different areas are balanced, so that whatever we are asking them to eat can also be impactful on their body.
I don't have anything else to say. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I can see how that makes a whole lot of sense. Just like you said, there are little people, like I always say, there are little people that even have big feelings. And so if their home environment is not in the right, in the right state of mind, if they are not making those social connections at school, if they're not getting the help for those behaviors or social emotions that they're struggling with because they have special needs, then it's going to impact, of course, what they eat. Are they going to be willing to eat those foods you introduce to them? Or like you said, the way the body will react because the emotional part, the primary foods are not being taken care of. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
It's just like stress, right? So when you are having stress, no matter what the vegetables or fruits that you eat, it's not going to solve the problem because it's emotional. So it's part of the primary foods as well. So there's a connection between the two sides of foods. You need to make sure that they are proper check, proper balance for them to be able to work in harmony. Our body is a complex structure. It is a complex unit. Everything needs to work together as a whole. And that's what we call holistic, basically.
Yes. Fabulous. Okay. So for me, I always like to give myself as an example. I'm always saying time is often a factor for me. And that's, the reason why I share that, I haven't really tackled food. And I try to do more organic, but there's still some processed foods that I have in there, to be honest. And so what can busy moms like me do as far as, meal prepping, nutrition? I always think about, okay, I have to make everything from scratch. What would you advise? So from both of you, what's your take? Since that you all have been on this path for so long, how have you all been able to move and get to this point where you are? Because I really, really, really want to embrace this. And for my kids, I know of people who have used nutrition to help their kids. So it works. It really does work. So can you please share?
Yeah, and I can go first. I think there are two things that I need to mention here. Number one, you need to pick your battles. And I did release a video yesterday on our feed in Instagram for that. You need to pick what is important to you. There are people who are chasing money. Yes, I understand that they need to be the breadwinner for their families, but they also have kids who have special needs that need attention as well. So you need to pick your battles, basically. What is the most important for you? Your nanny is not going to help your child recover from his or her neurodivergence issues. So when it comes to that, you basically need to find the right balance between your work and the needs of your child. And I don't believe meal prepping for raw living food is anywhere different from meal prepping for any other type of food. Why? Because we are dealing with raw food directly. So it's basically telling you to take your cucumber, for example, peeling it, chopping it, mixing up with a creamy avocado salad or sauce, and then that's it, you're on the go. So I don't think it's very difficult to meal prep, especially when you are on a raw living food journey, because you can even store your food in the fridge for a couple of days. I, for example, do that. I used to juice my kale, my celery juice, my carrot juice, and then I will store it in the fridge for a couple of days. So I know that for a couple of days, I don't have to rush. I don't have to be doing things around in the kitchen. And my kids also know where to go to when they need raw vegetable juice. So that's a trick. That's a trick that I had to learn on the way, and it's no different from any type of food. And the second thing is also you need to keep the habit of including your child in the meal prepping process. Yeah. They can also help you because we as mothers, we tend to do it all, and you don't have to. You don't have to. On the weekend, for example, I run a kind of a master class with my own child at home where I involve them in knowing how to chop zucchinis, in knowing how to do cucumber noodles, for example. And that's simply taking the vegetables with a particular device and you roll it. And you roll it, and it gives you those natural zucchini noodles, for example. So as soon as you involve your children in the process as well, they're going to help you. They will help you for the meal prepping. And if you have it in the fridge for 2 to 3 days, at least it is a weight off your shoulder while you're getting something else taken care of. I don't recommend, especially when it comes to raw food, meal prepping for more than a week. Okay. Especially when it goes to the fridge and not to the freeze. So if you're prepping, meal prepping raw food, it's best you store it for 2 to 3 days or at most 5 days, but not more than that because the taste is going to be different. The nutrients are also going to be unavailable. So you're basically eating nothing. I know that it is, if it's raw, it's basically you do it and you consume it directly. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you do for your child, then yeah, I would definitely recommend going that way.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly. This is awesome, Gisele. Exactly what you are saying is true. And what you have also to know, I don't have a lot of time. So this is my problem also. I don't like cooking as Gisele also, to be honest. And I just want to do something, two free things and giving to the child, and that's all. But in this case, usually what I say to the people that I follow, even when you go you want to go to the grocery to buy something, don't just, when you see the ingredient list that is more than 3 ingredient list and you don't know anything about the food, it is, if it is not more than 3, so don't take it. Okay. That's going to be better, and that can help you. Sometimes, of course, it's better to take something that is already done than to do it by ourselves at home. But when you're following a good health habits, it's better to do it at home also. As Gisele just said, it's better to take time if you can to do it. And then I think that this is a new school that you have to learn, because yes, we have already used to prepare or to cook in a kind of way, and then we have to mindset everything and go in another way. So this is a new school, and that was my case also. But the thing that I will say, and the advice that I will give you, the simplest you will go, the better it will be. Okay. For example, for me, I don't have any idea. I don't know what to do. I just take dates, banana, and almond milk, just make it in the blender, and that's all. So simply we are going by what the children also like. Okay. And you're going to introduce them step by step. Okay. For the snack, for example, I have nothing, but I have no idea. I just take dates. For the snack, that's good also. You take cashew nuts for the snack, raw cashew nuts, that is good also. Or simply you can make just a fruit salad. Just cut your fruits and make your fruit salad. This is a good snack. So just go simply, step by step. And also you have to know that when you go to the healthy food, you have to have at least 2 equipment. What? The first one is the blender. Okay. A blender, because that's gonna help you to make your own smoothie, and that's gonna be good and better for the children. The children, they like when you are changing. They don't like the same food from Monday to Sunday. So you have to innovate, and yes, the more you will put things, and also the appearance, how the food is. Just make a small smoothie and put some strawberries, like a smiley with a banana, and they will like it. So it's not going to, don't go to complicated things. Okay. If you are not used to, just go simply step by step, and that's all. And also the second equipment that you can have is a juice extractor, because my kids, they never drink juices from outside. I just take my apples and I make my own juices with the extractors, and that can help also. So it's important to know that even you don't have time, if you can just take some time, and the raw, that means you don't cook a lot. So normally that's gonna be the opposite. The more raw it is, the better you gain time. And this is, but it's a new school that we have to learn. That's why we don't know exactly what to do. Just take fruits, put them together, mix everything that you have left on your fridge, and give them the way that, since there is no artificial sugar, there's no dairy products, there's no wheat, that's going to be helpful for the health.
Wow.
Another tip is use carrots. If you don't have time, just throw carrots in your bag. I always have a carrot somewhere in my bag, always. Because as opposed to chewing on a, I don't know, on a snack or biscuit or something like that, I chew on carrots. So there are always things that you can have in your bag when you're on the go, or dates like Solange mentioned, or trail mix, which is a mix of nuts and dates and other sweet dried fruits that are naturally sweetened. Those things are the ones that you can have in your backpack when you're on the go. So you always have something to use.
So
yes, exactly.
No, I like what you all said, simple step, baby steps, because I know, like, the kids haven't been eating that way. And so to just all of a sudden go 360, I don't think it will work. But trying to start introducing it step by step, because one of my kids has some, what they'll say, food aversions, the texture of the food, some foods he won't like to eat because it just tastes, funny in his mouth, or, or looking at the food, he is not, appealing to him, so he will not want to eat it. So
that's the reason why I spoke about implicating or introducing kids inside your role system, right? Or inside your meal prepping way of doing. Because when they are part of the system, they will tend less to oppose to what you are telling them to do. Because my child had the same reaction. The very first day I asked my child to drink a vegetable juice, it was as if I was asking my child to be hungry all her life. So I had to take baby steps at a time. So the first day I said, okay, we're going to peel a banana, we're going to throw it in the blender, we're going to add a milk and just blend it. That child will not do that. The very next day I said, okay, how about you do me a smoothie today? And I want a banana in it and I want a date in it. That same child will be able to do the same thing and will go one step away to be able to drink it. The same thing that she refused the previous day. So once you include them as part of the system, the less resistance you get. That is a key factor that you need to understand when you're trying to get them to go that journey. It's very important that they are part of it. It's not something that you do and push onto them. Nobody likes to push something onto you. They want to be part of the creation. They want to be part of the system. And the same applies for our kids. Right? So that's number one. And number two, if your child doesn't like the taste, for example, let's say a kale juice. I understand a kale juice naturally is not sweet. Maybe nobody will like it. So the trick that you can use for that is, instead of raw juicing your kale only, add a couple of apples in it. No sugar. So you put your kale and your apples in a juice extractor, and you remove the stems, obviously, of the apple, and then you just juice it. It will give you a naturally flavored kale juice that your child would tend to drink because it's sweet. And they won't think about the kale, they'll be thinking about the sugar in it, but it's a natural sugar from the apple.
I agree with you with the meal prep, because they cook with me with with foods, but like I said, not the right food. So like, doing more of the, the salads or the vegetables, I tend to do that myself. And so, because some foods I've introduced to them in the past that they were part of, they ate. So you are very right about that. So like I said, changing the diet would be to do more of that. So yeah.
Exactly, and let them choose some fruits also. Even if you know that they will prefer some food than the other, just give them a choice of 2 or 3 fruits, and they can choose and pick up what they like and participate for the cooking of them or preparing the smoothie or the whatever we want to prepare, and that can help also. And what is important also, eating healthy food does not mean be hungry. Because a lot of people, they say, I'm eating veggies, but I'm still hungry. It's because they don't eat in the good way. They don't eat enough protein, they don't eat enough food. But it's important usually when you are moving on the step of the healthy food to have something always in your bag. For example, carrots, as Gisele say, I have dates all the time. I have nuts, mix of nuts, because when the hungry you will have earlier, the better you're gonna go to the junk food or things like that. But if you have an empty, a full stomach, sorry, you will not have I can say you won't be tempted. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And that's true. That's completely true. This is a transformational mindset. It is important to understand that when you start the healing journey, when you start removing allergies from your diet or the diet of the kids, it is important that you tell yourself that you need to differentiate quality food from quantity food. This is not about filling your stomach. This is about choosing the right food that is good for your stomach. You may be eating only one food that will not make your stomach full, but that's actually the right food that you need to be healthy. So you can understand quality versus quantity on that journey.
Amazing, ladies. Somebody has a comment from Benny Design. Say, yes, I agree. Kids love to feel like they are in charge, and that helps with eating as well as getting them to do what you want them to do. Yeah, giving them a choice.
What I usually do sometimes is I like using cakes, right? I use a lot of raw cakes, and you can find a lot of my recipes of that.
Try those.
I use cakes that are funny because I know that kids, they like smiling faces, they like those kind of things. So you can be creative in the kitchen as well. You don't have to bake everything. In fact, I never baked anything in my life before when I started my raw journey. And here I am today. I love innovating in the kitchen with my child, but it's all about involving them in the process.
Yes. So before we leave and before you all talk about your services, I just want to recap. I think lots of things there's also many things that's great information. So for this kids, population of kids that we're talking about, and this also extends to everyone, because that's why I like what you all are doing, but it makes sense, especially with kids with special needs. Nutrition is a very important part of the process in helping with managing their behavior, you know, like it's all those secondary issues that they may have, emotional stuff, like you said, removing artificial sugar. Like I said, I know people who have done this, and it has helped their child. So what you all are saying, there's a lot of credence to what you are saying. So being mindful of not including dairy and wheat in the food, because those are so overly processed these days. And then the issue of role modeling, which is true, which I agree to that, which I need to do more of. Because if the kids see me eating, you know, those type of foods, the healthy foods, more of those, you know, and with them, then there's a tendency that they will want to do the same thing too, right? And so taking simple steps, like you said, which I like. I mean, you can't do this on a 360 degrees. And you are right, it's a new school. And for me and for others out there, it's a total transformation of your mindset, changing the way you think about food, your relationship with food. And like you said, not just eating to eat, right? Just, you know, thinking about your gut health, thinking about what food is supposed to do for your body and not just eating whatever and thinking that, okay, I'm fine. But like you said, years down the line, it's going to show up. And for these kids too, it's the same thing for them, starting at a young age. And if they're not given the right foods, it's going to show up, like you said, eventually down the line. So, and then of course, like you said, if you don't have a juicer, I have a juicer, but I haven't used it in a while. So.
Well, if you don't have a juicer, you can also use a blender and a milk bag. Yeah. Right? The blender and milk bag would allow you to do almost the same thing as a juicer. It's just going to take you 1 more minute, but it's pretty much a similar result.
Okay. Yeah. And to remember primary and secondary foods, I love that, you know, there's a balance for everything in life. And then so the social, emotional aspect for these kids, you know, their school life, their home life, is very important in addition to what they eat. But if those two are not in tandem with each other, which makes a lot of sense for these kids, they're already dealing with their own challenges. And then if you now add all those other aspects, they're overly stressed or something is not working right for them in their emotional parts of their life, then eating the healthy foods is still not going to make a difference. So that's a very key point that I like that you all made. So ladies, before I let you go, because I'll keep you here, go on, Solange, go on. Please.
Yeah, if I can add something, I just want to say that, you know, don't change it from 365, one step and that's all. No, going step by step is very important, because we are in the introducing, we are not in the removing at one time. So just going step by step. If you have a kid that's like a McDonald's and is eating McDonald's every day, don't decide to stop from the day, from one day at at the moment that you want to start it. Just start introducing from veggies step by step, and replace a little bit some bad foods from his food. You know, it's important to go step by step and know to change it, because that's going to stress him. Yes. And also it's important to know also that our kids are going to school. They are going to school. They are seeing a lot of kids that have not especially healthy habits. Yeah. And then we say, why he's eating that and I cannot eat that? So that's going to be an education that you have to educate your kid. Okay. But also that means that you have to going step by step. And also sometimes I know that for me personally, once a month, I can offer to my kid, for example, to eat from French fries that I make in the oven instead of put them in the frying oil. So you can have some exception, but just to make sure that they are still kids. So we cannot remove everything, but once a year is enough. But don't do it like don't have bad food every day. Yes, exactly. But go by step. This is very important.
Another thing that just quickly came to mind, because I know the tendency I do is I separate what I'm eating from what they eat. So if I'm eating because I like my veggies, I know if I'm eating a lot of that. So they do have their veggies, they do eat their veggies, but they don't eat it as much as I do. And I was just thinking about what you all said about involving them in the meal prep, you know, trying to, you know, infuse more healthy food options. And that's what came to mind. That's something that I do need to change, because I do that a lot. I'll separate what I'm eating. I'll make my own meals, and they have their own meals. Their meals is, you know, it's quick. I already done that, or frozen some of them. But if I want to go this healthy route, it will mean that I have to make a intentional effort in making sure that our foods are, you know, aligned together.
Exactly. And then this is the homework that I will give you today, is to be better in the future, to have the same only one meal for everybody, because we are all mothers and it's not easy to have 2 or 3 food that we do at the same time for one meal. Yeah. So it's better to have all the same, eat the same thing together, even allergies or not allergies. We are eating healthy foods, and that's going to be easier for all of us.
This has been an education in of itself today. Like I said, a lot of respect for what you all are doing. Just great information. More to talk with you all behind the scenes. So if you all please can share before we leave, it's almost time to wrap up, what the services that you offer, so people know how to reach you, please.
Yeah, and I can go first. So at a-t-elle Wellness, we basically emphasize on the holistic wellness, right? So we want people to be healthy, body, mind, and soul. So we have introduced a wellness package recently, which is basically an 8 weeks coaching program, one-on-one with our doctor in nutrition and naturopath, Solange ADECHIAN, but also myself as a raw food chef, whereby we follow you on an 8 weeks journey to make sure that you are healthy. When I say healthy, making sure that from a naturopathy standpoint, you have what you need. From a nutritional standpoint, from a mindset standpoint, we have meditational activities as well. And we also have suggestions for physical activities. And last but not least, the wellness package also includes a model for women that are victims of domestic violence, because we realize that it's part of the emotional pieces that affect them. And a lot of women tend not to speak up about those issues, but they do affect their own wellness. So we have included some resources in the wellness package for women that are victims of domestic violence as well. So this is a part of the wellness package that we have on our website. You can sign up for it, and then we'll be able to follow you on an 8 weeks journey. We have also released today, because we know that Thanksgiving is coming and parents are eager to have a meal with their family the healthy way. So we want to encourage you to have nice meals that are dairy-free, gluten-free, and refined sugar-free. So we have released the pumpkin latte bomb recipe. It's a gourmet recipe that you can make for yourself or your family. You don't have to be a chef to do that. It's very simple to follow if you have the instructions. So those instructions, the recipe is also available on our website. You can check our bio with the link to purchase it.
Exactly. This is awesome, Gisele. And also we have some courses. So if you want to know how you can know better, understand your body, we have nutrition courses, we have biology courses, and also according to each diseases that you want to know and better perform with healthier habits, we have some courses and also some coaching that we give you on our website.
And we also have master classes on the website to teach you how to make your own soap, your own candle. So you don't have to buy it all. We believe that you should be having your body in check. You should be in control of what you want to put on your body. So we teach you how to make your own soap, your own cream, and we also teach you how to eat healthy.
Exactly. Because usually we say that don't give to your skin what you are not able to put in the mouth. And this is the error of a lot of people, especially children have eczema, allergies. It's important to make your own homemade cream, because you're gonna see the changes that you will see on his body. So usually we make our own cream at home. We make our own food, everything that is going to be on our skin or our mouth is better to know how they work. So we give some courses available on our website where you can learn everything, and also a one-on-one naturopathy consultation for the kids that have allergies or inflammatory diseases, inflammation, and also headaches. And we give a lot of help in that, and also consultation, as Gisele just mentioned.
See, that's why, see, all of you who are on here live, I told you I could go on and on. It's just so fascinating. I need to get you all on here again to talk about other things, but please go to their website. Ilera Wellness is just a wealth of information. The way I'm blown away is the same way the information is just, I didn't even touch on how you became a raw future. That's why I said we'll come back again another time, but that's fine. But yeah, thank you so much for this information. I've been educated in myself, even now wanting to take this seriously about food and tackle it. So I'll talk to you ladies behind the scenes, but please DM them, click the link in their bio. You have everything that they just listed there is right there, and get the cookbook. The cookbook is fantastic. The recipes are great, and I'm going to try it. Like I said, I will give you feedback after Thanksgiving when I've tried some of those recipes. So ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure to have you all on here today. So take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.